One day it'll make sense. Till that day I gotta pay rent. You know, baby, need some new shoes. Gotta keep some dollars on the statement. Serena with the surf. Who is you what you deserve? Yeah. Who is you what you deserve? Who is you what you deserve? Yeah. Look, I feel like I should just be honest. I'm escaping traumas, trying to.
Yo, what's up, YouTube? Back at it with another video on today. And you know what we do on this channel? We talk about the prospects, today's top prospects coming to the NFL draft. And today I got Jerry Rice's son with me, Brendan Rice. Finally got a chance to talk about Brendan Rice. Very interesting story on the Rice family. Just really looking up the background of the Rice family and knowing how the McCaffrey family has been balling out in the NFL with Christian McCaffrey and Ed McCaffrey. And then now Luke is now entering his name into the NFL draft. Now you got Jerry Rice's son, Brendan Rice, who will be entering his name into the NFL draft. Now, a lot of people may not know that Jerry Rice has another son by the name of Jerry Rice Jr. And he did get a chance to get into the NFL, but he did not really make it into the NFL. He had a tryout with the Baltimore Ravens. And also, he had a look by the San Francisco 49ers, but did not get picked up by any club. And then he eventually ended up signing a contract with the Washington Redskins, but that didn't really last that long for him. He ended up suffering a torn labrum in a training camp, so it didn't really last long with Jerry Rice Jr. Now, Jerry Rice Jr. is not as big as Brendan Rice. Brendan Rice is standing at about 6'2", 6'3", and he's a big receiver. He's a big body receiver. And I think Jerry Rice Jr. was maybe 5'10", so he was a smaller receiver. But you know, when you got a family that is good in football, and your dad is known arguably as the best wide receiver in NFL history and still holds a lot of records to this day. There are certain records that Jerry Rice holds that no receiver is probably going to ever break these records. I believe Jerry Rice has 208 touchdowns in his career. That's going to be tough to get. The only person I can see that probably can get up there, and he's still got a long way, is Mike Evans, who's currently playing right now. But it's going to take a lot of touchdowns, man, for somebody to catch up with Jerry Rice. And then having 22,000 yards receiving, I don't see anybody breaking Jerry Rice's record. He's going to probably have that record for a long time. You know, they say that records are made to be broken, but I just think that right there for Jerry Rice is going to probably be an all-time record, because it's going to be tough to get 22,000 yards, even though the NFL is a passing league right now. But definitely, man, Brendan Rice is a very talented kid. Came from Hamilton in Arizona high school. Ended up playing his college football with Colorado, and then hitting the transfer portal and going over to USC Trojans to play with Caleb Williams. Has some phenomenal back-to-back seasons with those guys. And definitely, man, Brendan Rice, man, is definitely, if I had to have a sleeper wide receiver in this draft, it's going to be Brendan Rice. Now, living up to his father's name and what his father was able to do in the NFL is going to be tough, man. You know, Christian McCaffrey is having success, you know what I'm saying, with the McCaffrey name. His father, Ed McCaffrey, playing in the NFL and doing well. And now Luke in the NFL is trying to make his own way. It's going to be tough, man, for these guys. Now, I'm not going to say that it's a lot of pressure on Brendan Rice to do what Jerry Rice did, because let's face it, man, it's not a lot of receivers in the game that's going to be able to accomplish what Jerry Rice was able to accomplish. A fun fact that you may not know about Jerry Rice is Jerry Rice came from a small school. He did not go to Georgia. He did not go to Alabama. He didn't go to Michigan. He didn't go to Florida State. He didn't go to Oregon. He didn't go to any of those big schools. He went to a HBCU, and he was drafted in the first round, I believe the 16th pick overall, by the San Francisco 49ers. And Jerry Rice, in his senior year at the HBCU school, Mississippi Valley State, Jerry Rice, hear me out, Jerry Rice caught 112 balls for 1,800 plus yards to go along with 27 touchdowns. Jerry Rice was a baller. So a lot of people always, you hear this, and this is one thing that you guys hear a lot in the draft that people say a lot is that, man, he didn't face any competition. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. If you check the track record on a lot of these superstars that come into the NFL, a lot of these guys came from small schools. Walter Payton came from Jackson State. Randy Moss came from Marshall. Terrell Owens came from Tennessee Chattanooga. So nobody can tell me, man, just because you go to a big school that you're going to have all the success in the world. Because these small school guys come into the league and they dominate. And some of these guys become Hall of Famers. So I think we can stop with the narrative of just saying that, oh, he didn't face any competition. No. It's if you can play football, man, you can play football. If you can catch a football, you can run a football, you can intercept, you can make plays on the ball, you can play football. We have to stop the narrative of the level of competition. Yeah, we understand that. Yeah, it is competition out there. But the only difference, just like Shedeur Sanders was saying when they was coming from the HBCU, the only difference is the size of the linemen. The offensive linemen and the defensive linemen, they might be a little bit bigger. But other than that, the skill position players, they're the same. They're the same in the HBCU, just like it would be at Georgia, just like it would be at Michigan, Florida State, Alabama, Texas, Oregon, USC, all these big schools. It's the same. And I think that you have to really, really think about football, and you have to think how simple the game of football is. People make it so hard than what it is, but it's not that hard. So you can get drafted from a smaller school and come into the NFL and be a baller and be better than some of the guys that's coming from these big major Power 5 schools. So at the end of the day, man, just a fun fact on Jerry Rice, man. Jerry Rice was able to do some things that a lot of receivers wasn't able to do. Who comes into the National Football League after his college season with over almost closing in almost 2,000 yards receiving and 112 balls with 27 touchdowns. So it's not a lot of people that are able to do that. Jerry Rice was a very talented receiver. So Brendan Rice living up to Jerry Rice, my expectation is not for him to be Jerry Rice, to be his father, because he'll never be able to be his father. But he can make a pathway for himself, and he can still be great in his own right. I think that Brendan Rice definitely has the attributes to be a very good wide receiver. But in his career so far, he has, in his collegiate career, he had 111 receptions for 1,821 yards to go along with 21 touchdowns. Average per catch was around 16.4. Rice is a big body receiver with reliable hands. He has great ball skills and field awareness. He has a knack for making big plays down the field. Rice is good at finding soft spots in zone coverages, and that's something definitely that you need in the NFL. A guy can find those soft spots and be able to capitalize off of that. And Rice tracks and locates the ball well. He can play as an outside receiver, as an X receiver, and he can also play in the slot as well. Rice has the skill set to be a number 2 or even a number 1 if he works harder. Now, to me, a lot of people keep saying, yeah, he could be a number 2. He has the opportunity to be a number 1 as well. If Jerry Rice's son puts the work in, the size that he is, and standing at 6'3", almost 210 pounds, he has the capability of being able to do it. He just has to work hard like his father did. Jerry Rice had one of the greatest work ethics, known. Everybody knows about Jerry Rice work ethics, doing the hills and stuff like that, and just his intense workouts for 2 hours and 3 hours, what he used to do with his body to keep himself in shape. Jerry Rice, when he was a young kid, working with his father, catching bricks with his hands, just some of the things that a lot of kids don't get a chance to experience because, now you're coming to a society where just most of the kids are in the house and they're playing video games all the time. But these are the things that Jerry Rice did you know what I'm saying, to make him one of the best receivers all time, man. So definitely, man, I got a lot of respect and love for Brendan Rice, and I want to see this kid be phenomenal in the NFL. Even if the Detroit Lions don't look at Brendan Rice, whatever teams drafts this kid, I definitely think that they're going to get a talented guy that's going to work hard, a kid that's outgoing, a kid that wants to make a name for himself, and to be able to come into the league and know that your dad, Jerry Rice, set the standard for receivers. Man, it's tough, man, to be able to come behind that. That is tough to come behind, but I definitely think that he still has an opportunity. If drafted to the right team, he could come into this league and ball out. He's definitely my sleeper wide receiver in this draft class. I love Brendan Rice's game. I love what this kid brings to the game. I love the way he played at the Senior Bowl. He was very dominant at the Senior Bowl and had a great Senior Bowl. And now it's time to just translate his game into the NFL. And, man, skies is going to be the limit, man. Brendan Rice has the opportunity to be great in his own right. He just has to have that work ethic, and he has to want to be great. When you get in the NFL and you're drafted in the mid to the late rounds, because that's probably where he maybe end up drafted, anywhere from the third round to the later rounds, you want to come in the league and you want to ball, because a lot of these guys end up becoming stars. It's not the guy that's always getting drafted in the first round that comes into the NFL and becomes a star. You can get drafted later. Ask Brock Purdy. Ask some of these guys that have been taken later in the draft how they've come into the draft and dominated, and they made the most of every opportunity. So that's what I'm thinking for Brendan Rice when he comes into the league. He has to make the most of every opportunity and not try to be like his father, but make his own pathway and his own legacy. I'm out of here until next time. Peace.
One day it'll make sense. Till that day I gotta pay rent. You know, baby, need some new shoes. Gotta keep some dollars on the statement. Serena with the serve. Who is you what you deserve? Yeah. Who is you what you deserve? Who is you what you deserve? Yeah. Look, I feel like I should just be honest. I'm escaping traumas, trying to be the greatest, that's my promise. You know, I always stand on business, always been relentless. Know the trousers new and the shirt vintage. Living free of drama, still finding ways to make my own problems, chasing progress. A baddie sleeping in a bonnet, that's my favorite topic. Still searching for a goddess like the Black Madonna. It's like that, and I'm right back. For every message left on red and ones that I ain't right back. Was looking for some peace inside myself until I